Welcome to the Overtaxed Taxpayer channel. As usual, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and as always, subscribe. I'm hand holding a camera today, the other one. Every now and then I get an idea for a video and the opportunity I just don't have my other camera with me to put it on the windshield. Anyway, I wanted to talk about what's happening in Minneapolis. But before I do so, I want to ask a couple of rhetorical questions. I use it to make my point. When a Mexican man kills a black man, is it considered racism in the United States? When a black man kills a Mexican man, is it considered racism in the United States? When a Chinese man kills a black man or a white man or any other nationality, is it considered racism in the United States? Now let's move on to the black man. When he kills any other nationality, is it considered racism in the United States? And finally, let's move to the white man. When the white man kills a Mexican man, is it considered racism in the United States? When a white man kills a Chinese man or an Armenian man, is it considered racism in the United States? As soon as a black man is killed by a white man, it is considered racism. And I want to clarify something. Racism does exist in the United States. It exists in every nationality equally. Equally. Prejudice exists in each and every nationality equally. However, saying so, not every time a white man touches a black man is it justified, or should it be justified as racism. Was it premeditated? First of all, I need to clarify something. What that cop did was freaking downright evil, okay? Sticking his knee to that man's neck, cutting off his blood supply via his carotid artery, and killing him slowly, torturing him for 8 or 9 minutes is evil. In my opinion, even worse than racism. So don't get me wrong. Not defending those cops at all. Oh, hell no. But I'm going to make my point. I'm going to make my point. Did that evil cop put his pants on and shoes that morning on thinking, I'm going to go find me a black man? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you something. Odds are probably not. He's just a bad man and probably would have done that to anyone. Not every time do you see a crime like that and should you consider it racist. Not every time a white man kills a black man. Not every time. I'm not saying not some of the time. Not every time should it be misconstrued as racism. Why am I bringing this up? It seems so irrelevant. Because the point of this video is not about the cop killing the black man. That's not the point of this video. I'm trying to make my point. The point of this video is divide and conquer. Divide and conquer and keep them divided equals a weak and dumbed down society. When the protesters were being interviewed, I'm not talking about the rioters. I'm talking about the protesters in the first day or two when they were being interviewed by news media outlets. Not one of them. Remember, they're trying to lead us to believe that the community is downright tired of racism. But when those protesters were being interviewed, not one of them claimed they were protesting due to racism in their communities. Not one of them. They were protesting the abuse of power. No doubt about that. But not one of them brought up racism, which leads me to believe that the community was not even thinking about racism. So where did we hear about racism first? If the protesters were not protesting about racism. Who is trying to program the nation from coast to coast to believe that there is an abundance of racism in the United States? That this country is infested with racism? Who is trying to make us believe that? And I already said in the beginning of this video, racism does exist, but I don't believe, just like the coronavirus, it exists in the abundancy. It is being used as often as some people would like us to believe. Who brought up racism first? If it wasn't the protesters, who brought it up? Who said the word racism first? The news media outlets, who weren't even on the scene at the time. Television programming. They don't call it programming for nothing. People have been led to believe that if it comes off their television, it is truth, it is gospel. The news media outlets are the main tool, the main instrument, the main weapon of the Democrat Party. Whether you believe it or not. They want you to vote a certain way. They project their news. They use verbs and adjectives to sway your opinion in the upcoming months before an election. They will report things that skew your opinion. What happened in Minneapolis, in my opinion, was not racism. It was something even worse. It was evil. They want you to believe it was racism. Why? To keep us divided. To keep you and I divided. To keep the blacks and the whites divided. Because if we unite, we will become an awesome force. And I don't mean force by brute strength. I'm talking above and beyond brute strength. We will conquer true. We will be free. They don't want us to be free. They want us divided and conquered. I want to make one more point real quick and I'll end this video. Remember the armed strength, the armed response that the mayors of various states had when businesses defied the shutdown law. Remember the beauty salon, the lady that wanted to open up her beauty salon, how in force they showed up, in force. And remember the gym, how in force they showed up. Militant, armed like a soldier. The power that the governors used. The immediate response to the opening of those businesses. The immediate response. No, we gotta wait for the process, and we gotta wait and see if this is legal. No. Before even anything happens, before they check the Constitution or anything, boom, shut them down, arrest them all, fine them all, and make an example out of them. Now we got something far worse than businesses opening. Far worse than businesses opening. Some of the protesters, and I might add, perhaps not even local protesters, perhaps they were bust-in agitators, if you know what I mean. bust-in agitators. They agitate the crowd. They work them up into a froth and a foam, and they start vandalizing their own neighborhoods. And I wouldn't doubt it if some of the first people to throw the firebombs were hired professional activists. Bust in. But I don't want to go there right yet. You've got a city like Minneapolis on fire, buildings being destroyed. Would you not agree with me? That's a little bit worse than a business opening up, trying to feed their family, trying to earn some money, pay their bills, so their homes don't get foreclosed on, so their cars don't get repossessed, so their children don't starve. Would you find that burning down a city is a little bit worse? Yet there is no immediate action. There is no immediate action. Oh, we're just going to stand by and just let them cool off. You know, they deserve it. They've just been held down by Trump. This is all Trump's fault. I love it how they seem to do that. Trump's fault. Trump stoked the fire here. Yeah, Trump called that cop the morning of the death. We need you to stick your knee into somebody's neck who's black. It's all Trump's fault. But my point is, you see the difference in approach, this difference in response, something far worse. And they took their sweet time. I was going to say a bad word. They took their sweet time calling in the National Guard, who, might I add, is not 100% on scene yet. I'm hearing about them in the news, but when I look at news clips, I don't see any of them. Oh, but they've been called. They've been called. Notice the lack of immediate response. Notice the lack of strength from those mayors and governors. Notice how it's almost like they want it to continue. Oh, and they do. See, the longer they can let this continue, the longer they can utilize this as a political weapon against Trump. See, the more you watch the news, the more Trump's name is coming out over the Minneapolis riot. And notice now that, and I might add, Democrat states are now having riots all over the United States. Only Democrat states. Now, if people were feeling oppressed, wouldn't that be a unanimous, both Republican and Democrat states? And wouldn't both Democrat and Republican states protest? I'm seeing protest in Phoenix, Arizona, Democrats. California, Democrats. Could these additional protests been staged, or maybe not staged, started up, hired, call it what you want, by professional activists who then use the phone, hey, we're going to meet here on Stone and First or whatever the hell it is, Broadway, whatever. You know, I'm being crazy. I don't know the addresses out there in California. And let's riot. You know, let's just call the, you know, and the longer this goes on, the longer they can just blame it on Trump and the Republican Party. But you got to remember, and I'll end this video by saying this, there were shootings under Barack Obama also. Now, I'm not blaming Barack Obama, but just to let you know, there's white on black shootings. It's been happening many, many presidents. And it's just not Trump's fault, and it's now being utilized as a weapon. They're letting Minneapolis burn to the ground for the sake of a political weapon. And I might say that also, do not believe the words that come out of the news station's mouth. Take care.